And hopefully the mad rush of people
I was gonna say,
will like,
that bell.
I think we'll miss it. Like if we wait just 1 minute because it's 5:01. I was thinking like 2 minutes, 4 minutes, right? Don't you? Yeah. I wasn't going to go into super detail or anything, but.
Oh, it's ready. Yeah.
Rachel, are you just recording it? It's not live?
It is.
Live?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, starting off, just tell us, who you are and, who you represent, and then a little bit about, what you want to say.
Sure. So my name is Jen Falk, and I'm an attorney with the McCathern Law Firm. I represent the Brown family, which is a local family here from Midland that their children used to attend Trinity Christian school here in town. The Brown family originally reached out to me just to kind of talk about what a criminal process looks like because they knew that they would be called as witnesses in the prosecution of the 4 administrators of the Trinity school that we've seen here the last couple weeks here in town. And through the course of that prosecution and just kind of the trial the last 2 weeks, I have facilitated and kind of helped them understand this process and where we're at. Where we're at now versus where we were at a week ago is certainly different because where we're at now is serious disappointment and frustration. Throughout the entire process, since this occurred to their daughter and certainly since the case was filed, they really have stood silent because that's what witnesses should do so as not to interfere with the criminal process. However, they expected the trial to be their opportunity to speak the truth and to let the community know exactly what happened and how their daughter was failed, not only by her abuser, the other student, but also by the school, and now, ultimately, because the case was dismissed mid-trial, by the process and the system.
And, how are your clients feeling right now? I mean, I know you said frustrated a little bit. Have you been in talks with them about, kind of how to continue forward and move forward on this?
A lot. And really, there's no linear path when this type of thing happens. There is not a playbook about how to handle it, how to recover. They are saddened and disappointed, I think, mostly. They very much felt like this was going to be their opportunity for the community to know how their daughter was, in fact, a victim at the hands of another student, and Trinity failed to report that. Trinity admitted that there had been unwanted touching. Trinity did not report any case involving their daughter's name to CPS. And when you look at the case objectively, the criminal case, that's really all that needed to be put out there. But instead, because the case was cut short, that evidence was never finally presented to a jury for them to make the determination.
Are they seeking any legal action past this point?
We're pursuing or considering any possible things that we might be able to do. What's really ultimately important to them is that they affect change. And that can be kind of small subjective change through policies and procedures with Trinity, but also bigger change, maybe statewide or at least community-wide, because statistically there will be other victims. Statistically, there will be other girls and boys in the same position that their daughter has been in. And we don't want her trauma compounded by the failure of a school, of an administrator, of whatever the trusted professional is that is supposed to report and protect. And so we certainly are looking at what we can do to try to make the community, the state, a safer place for victims, especially when we talk about things that have happened in a school setting.
Why do they feel that the trial went the way it did?
So the rules of evidence are kind of unique in a criminal case, and witnesses that are testifying are not allowed to sit in the trial. So it really wasn't during the trial that they had any idea what was going on, because each individually, the mom, the dad, and the daughter, are witnesses, and it's not appropriate or legal for them to talk about what other witnesses have said. Since the disclosure on like whatever day of the week it was, on Wednesday, and ultimately the charges being dropped. They've certainly been able to go back through the news and meet with me to talk about what the evidence did show, but that evidence was cut short. We have no idea what the additional witnesses would have been that the state put on, what additional witnesses the defense would have put on, if any, or cross-examination. But at the end of the day, we know for a fact that their daughter was abused. We know for a fact that Trinity admitted that abuse occurred. The language that they used was an unwanted touching. That is a reasonable belief of child abuse and absolutely should have been reported. We know for a fact that there was no report made to CPS involving their daughter's name, and that's what should have been done. I don't know what evidence the state would have been able to put forth because I'm not a prosecutor, but I do know what I believe would have been shown, and ultimately we would have been able to trust that a jury had seen everything and looked at everything before they made a decision.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add that we didn't ask, or anything else?
I don't think so. Do you have any other questions? Okay, thank you. Thanks, y'all.